So here we are for the final video. I just thought I'd put an amalgam of stuff you've seen throughout these videos so far, just to, while I record the dialogue for this little wrap-up. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, thanks to everyone for watching. You know, this is a bit of fun experience getting my YouTube legs wet, so to speak. You know, it's more fun than I thought, and it was more hard work than I thought. I would say I've come up with this, the other side of this, with a newfound respect for YouTubers, for professional YouTubers. I make no real promises to myself or to anyone else to record further videos, but, you know, I think I might do in the future. I've kind of got a slightly unusual schedule the rest of this year, so I might not get to it until 2024. Maybe part of my New Year's resolution, who knows? But you know, there's certainly subsequent further Duckula things I could discuss. Maybe do like a Duckula iceberg, looking at some of the Von Gooseby's knocked down, some of the more obscure things, and you know, and there's you know, some other videos about animation, wider animation. I've got some rare animation books that maybe it'd be nice for people to get a look at. But yeah, this final video is just to wrap things up and thank anyone who's watched this far or is even watching this one right now. And also just to wrap up some of the points regarding some of the merchandise that I haven't discussed. Well, I haven't been able to show you because I don't have them. There was quite a lot of Duckula merchandise because it was produced during the licensing boom. I think and because Danger Mouse was such a big hit, they got quite a few licenses on board before any episodes aired, and possibly even before they were, you know, animated. So I think that might have been a first for a British series, although I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know, merchandising was quaint compared to, say, Peppa Pig or something, although that's much younger, obviously, but there was still a lot out there. You've seen a lot of it over this video. I mean, there was also some about 10, 15 years ago, around the time the DVDs were released. The company, I think it's Fremantle, that had the rights. There was a pretty significant second wave of Danger Mouse merchandise around that time, but they also released some Duckula stuff, including some plushes that frankly didn't look too good. I haven't got them anyway. Around the time of the original series, there were some birthday cards released that have got some pretty nice artwork that I almost won on eBay a year or two ago, but I forgot to put in the final bid, so those aren't mine for the time being. But the most famous bits of merchandise that I haven't discussed, that I don't actually own, are the two games that were released for the ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, and those kind of things in the late 80s, early 90s. The first one, Count Duckula, No Sax Please Were Egyptian, appropriate to be discussing that now. I've played both of them, though, I should say. How can I have played them? I don't know. Ooh. I've played both of them. The first one, I think people think it's okay, or possibly, you know, it has a nostalgic place in the heart of people that had those systems at the time, which I didn't. You know, those kind of games are not really my cup of tea for the most part. I was going to say that they were a bit before my time, but there's lots of stuff that's before my time that I like, so they're just not really my cup of tea. But yeah, that game is easy enough to play, should you wish to. If you do really like that game, good news, I've discovered there's a hoodie that's got the cover on it. So yeah, that's some good news for you there. And there's also the infamous Count Duckula 2, which is, you know, for a slightly narrower range of systems, I think, that was released in 1992. I think after most merchandising for the series had stopped, to be honest. But that still managed to squeak out, and it's widely regarded as one of the worst games ever made. The review scores at the time were like below 10%, I think like 4% and 9% in some of the high-profile magazines at the time. And retrospective reviews haven't been much any kinder, in fact, worse. It's possibly the part of Duckula history that's most discussed, because, you know, the internet is, they like to discuss stuff that was either a terrible failure or wasn't actually made, rather than stuff that was actually good and was made. But I will say this for the Count Duckula 2 game, at least the box was cute. Also, it was made at a time when games were just, I think they cost like $2.99 or something, and again, this is in 90s, 80s money. But, you know, the idea was they were for kids to spend their pocket money on. And, you know, for that price, not too bad. But, well, actually quite bad. But, you know, you got to bear in mind that that was the price they charged for, rather than the you know, $54.99 or whatever is being charged for games these days. Yeah, if you want to look up more about those, there's a lot of YouTube videos about them. So if you watch these videos and if you don't know Duckula, but you somehow, for some reason, watched all my videos. What can you do about watching them? Well, thankfully, Andrew Morrice, the fabulous Andrew Morrice, who thanked me for pronouncing his name correctly in the previous video, so hopefully I haven't messed it up and gone back and said it incorrectly last time. He pointed out on number 2 of this video series that actually all episodes are legally on YouTube, uploaded on the official YouTube channel, so you can watch them all there. If you're a stickler for DVDs, so, you know, as I mentioned, there was a complete series DVD released, simple set that was very reasonable when it came out, only $14.99, I think it was, or maybe like $17.99, but very, very reasonable for 65 episodes of a TV program. Certainly in that period of time, and I would say any time, you know, pre-streaming, but also now. It had some decent-looking art cards with it that I wouldn't mind having, even though I don't have the set myself. But on the more negative side, on the back cover, it's got a really ugly stretched out image of get it off the screen now. A really ugly stretched out image of Duckula from I think it's a bit from One Stormy Night. That I think it's kind of like a weird in between anyway, which is why would you choose that rather than a better image? I don't know, but they did, and I think they also stretched it out heck and back so it looks pretty terrible because it has one of those covers where there was a hole in the middle. Sometimes they would put the sort of the DVD case the wrong way around in shops, so that was the first thing people see, and gives a very bad first impression of the show, which annoyed me greatly at the time, disproportionate to how much it actually matters in the world. But there you go, can't help who I am. If you do want to get hold of that set, you can get it for £32 from CEX if you're lucky enough to live near a CEX that has it. You can pick it up from there, as of the last time I looked, or £32 plus about £2.95 postage, about £35. It comes out about the same if you buy the free season set, or if you are lucky enough to live in a CX that has all 3 of them, then I think it's even less than that. I think the first one is £10 and the other 2 are around the £6 mark, so that would just be £22 for the lot. So yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know about other countries, I'm afraid. I know that, as I discussed, Series 2 and 3 were never released in America, so if you want a DVD and you don't have a multi-region player, unfortunately, that's it's no good for you. I don't know about how well it was released else in the world. I know it's particularly popular in Germany, or supposedly Duck is particularly popular in Germany and Latin America, but I don't know if full sets were released on DVD there. I'm pretty sure it was released in full in Germany, but I don't know that for a fact, and if anyone can tell me otherwise in the comments, that would be entirely welcome. Okay, so just going to conclude with my 10 favourite episodes. My favourites, you know, these are kind of recommendations for newbies of a sort, I guess, although, to be honest, in my opinion, you can't really go wrong. You know, my least favourite episode of the series would still be like a B- or a 6 out of 10, that kind of thing. There really aren't any episodes I out and out dislike. There's a few that are in that territory for me, but not many. Most would rank quite comfortably above that, I think. But anyway, this is my 10 favourites, and my 10 favourites in the order they were broadcast in the UK. They are subject to change. Maybe I'll do Duckula's 40th birthday. I'll come back and do a top 10, and we'll see if it's completely different now. But yeah, at the moment, my top 10 are The Vampire Strikes Back, Rent-a-Butler, Dr. Goosewing and Mr. Duck, The Lost Valley, The Incredible Shrinking Duck, Whodunit, Bo Duckula, Mystery Cruise, Manhattan Duck, and Unreal Estate. Okay, that last one is actually not in broadcast order, but I thought it was good to end off where it all started, with the episode that is probably the pilot episode. Objectively speaking, it's probably not one of the top 10, but I've always just been so fascinated by it, and its kind of weird production and the kind of the weird way they try to make up the gaps between, you know, is it the pilot, is it a new episode, you know, is it something in between? Who knows? Thank you very much for watching. If there's anything you'd like me to discuss in a future video sometime in the future, let me know in the comments. If there's any questions you have, if there's anything you think or would like to have a closer look at that, let me know. Do anything you want, do anything you want within reason, and that's pleasant. In the comments. Thank you for watching, and do I have it in me to say good night out there, whatever you are? I think I do. Good night out there, whatever you are.